Hi, I'm Marsh from StrataGames, and today we are playing a Tortured Existence deck. This is a deck donation from Sty, and they sent this deck that looks very interesting, nicknamed 2 TortEx. The reason is it's a TortEx deck, it's a tutor deck. We have Dimir Infiltrator as a way to tutor some cards with Transmute, and all of the relevant cards that we're really trying to go for are 2 drops. So we were an Eidolon deck as well, which means we have Enigma Eidolon and Entropic Eidolon. We can discard these to the TortEx, and then whenever we cast a multicolored spell, they come back to our hand, which means that we can, for a black mana, turn that into any creature from our graveyard. Shipwreck Sifters also grows every single time we discard a spirit, which we can just continuously do with 2 Eidolons back and forth. And so that is kind of our main win con. Of course, if Shipwreck Sifters dies, we can actually just swap any creature in our hand for it with TortEx, then cast it from our hand. We have a little bit of removal in 4 cast downs, as well as an Accursed Marauder. This is a one of because we can tutor it with our Transmuter, and once we've used it, we can just keep buying it back with our Tortured Existence. We also have a one of Undergrowth Leopard. This deck is primarily blue-black. There's a lot of hybrid cards, but every single card can be cast for blue or black in the main deck, except for this Undergrowth Leopard. They said this was the best disenchant card they could find for the deck. Obviously, things like Masked Vandal and Troublemaker Oof are a lot more common, but those use up resources that we don't have over and over and over. We are a deck that wants creatures in our graveyard, so while we could trigger the Masked Vandal once or twice, and the exile is a lot more powerful, we would eventually run out of cards in our graveyard, and we really don't want to be exiling them in the first place. So Leopard is the one that they thought was the best idea, to be able to constantly recur to blow up all of our opponent's artifacts or enchantments. We also have 2 Knife Trick as more removal. We can discard a card as an additional cost, so it can be just a single mana to deal 3 damage, and if we discard an Eidolon, it comes right back because this is also a multicolored card. More multicolored cards that we have are Dahada's Ploy, which is a classic card to go with the Eidolons. The Infiltrator, if we do just want to cast that. 3 Abandoned Attachments, which also works very well with the Eidolons. Architects of Will, which can turn any creature that we have in our hand into a draw card with a Tortured Existence, and 4 Cram Session. Life gain's pretty good because we're a slow deck and there's a lot of burn in the format, but also this lets us learn, and of course from Avatar we have a bunch of new lessons to try out. So we have It'll Quench Ya as just a soft counterspell, Waterbending Lesson as a draw spell, a couple Origin of Metal Bending, which can be more disenchants or protection for one of our key creatures, as well as 1 more Abandoned Attachments, making it so we essentially have 7 of this card in our deck, 3 in the main deck, and then 4 ways to grab it from the sideboard. We're also playing a couple Fairy Macabre main deck because Graveyard Hate is very key, and this is one we can keep recurring, so if we go up against Graveyard deck, it should be really easy for us to just win that game ideally. It's important that we hit our lands and get as much mana as possible, so we have 4 Troll of Khazad-dûm, which of course we can also recur with our Tortured Existence to continuously pull out lands. We have a whole bunch of swamps, a couple Haunted Mire and Contaminated Aquifer, and then a bunch of thriving lands, primarily black, which can go on green if we need to splash our Leopard, or obviously just blue if we don't have other blue sources. The rest of our sideboard, other than our Learn board, 4 Golgari Brownscale. This gains life whenever it goes from our graveyard to our hand, which we can do with dredging it, or we can just use Tortured Existence with this and any other creature, swap them for black, gain 2 life, which can be really key against burn decks. A couple Crawling Infestation, which can fill your graveyard and also make quite a few 1/1s. And also a couple Crypt Rats, which can wipe the board against go-wide strategies. So I'm pretty excited to try this list out. I have not played a TortEx deck before, so it's certainly going to have a bit of a learning curve, but let's take it for a league and see how we do. All right, on the play in this first one, and we have 4 lands, Architects, which is mostly just a cycler, Shipwreck Sifters, Cast Down. We don't have a Tortured Existence. We have 1 extra card draw, 2 actually with the Sifters. I think we'll keep it. We're definitely looking for Tortured Existence, some Eidolons, and just generally card draw, like an Abandoned Attachments would be a nice one to find. Let's just start with a Thriving Moor on blue. We're against something red. Well, that's a nice top deck. We're going to just cast that, play Haunted Mire. Our hand's not looking great against a red opponent. They Bushwhacker right away. We have some cast downs. Sifters currently doesn't grow, but it does block. If it gets bolted, I can just bring it back. So I think we cast that. Dimir Infiltrator is an interesting draw. That is a spirit, so we can grow the Sifters. It does still die to a bolt, but not to a Galvanic Blast, which could be relevant. I can always buy this back. I think that's a fine discard. Grow here, Thriving Moor on blue, and if this survives, I can keep growing it if I want. Does just die to a bolt, and a Percussionist, and another. Okay. 4 1/1's not the scariest ever. Still pretty decent, obviously. Cycle a Troll for a Swamp, and I could cast down, or I could just get the Sifters back. It's probably better to get Sifters back. Draws us a new card. If they don't have a bolt, it blocks. They didn't really have better creatures, though, so it feels like they probably have a bolt. Still think we're going for it. Discard Architects, get back Shipwreck Sifters, loot. We don't need another Tortured Existence, and nothing else grows this or anything, so no reason to do anything else. We have a Rally at the Hornburg, so we're taking 5. Not the worst it could be. Cram Session's actually really good. Gains us some life, can find us Abandoned Attachments, Quenchia, Metal Bending to give this indestructible. It's Destroy Artifact or Enchantment, so I can't exile like a Clockwork. I could play an Architects of Will as another blocker. Seems a little risky. I think we're going Cram Session and getting the attachments, but I'd probably just hold up this and cast down. Or I could get Quenchia in case they get like a Bushwhacker or something. That might be better. Having the card draw could be pretty good, but of course we could just die to like another Bushwhacker. I guess we'll get this. If they don't cast anything relevant, though, I get to block and cast down. We only take 3. If they try to kill the Sifters, I obviously can't quench that, but I can cast it down. And we're certainly dead to 2 bolts here, but we were at 6 last turn anyway. We'd already be dead to 2 bolts. I guess they didn't have double red. Well, we'll see. Yeah, there's a Galvanic Blast and a bolt. Well, I don't think I could have gotten out of that. Unfortunately, this is definitely going to be a tougher match for us in general, but we get the brown scales to gain a lot of life. I think Infestations and Crypt Rats might be worth it because they make guys and can clear the board. Fairy Macabre definitely can be cut. Marauder's not going to be good. Leopard is fine. It's a blocker, and they do have some relevant artifacts, but it's not the most important thing. I don't think there's time to be transmuting, although this is just a fine blocker. I mean, it dies to a bolt. Cast down's also really expensive for killing, like, a 1-drop or a token. I guess we'll keep the Infiltrators. They can tutor up, like, a Cram Session, or, like I said, just block. But we'll try this. 2 mana, we do have a Cram Session, Sifters, Eidolon, Crawling. I think this looks okay. We do play a lot of tap lands, so things could be a little awkward. We'll play Aquifer first. This Thriving Isle is going to be green-blue, probably, so that I can get my green mana, but I would love a Swamp. Okay, Tortured Existence fits into our curve too, though. Thriving on green, play that. Tomb Raider into Rally with no artifact, not the worst start ever. No Burning Tree, land is good. We want to play a Shipwreck Sifters. Discarding this guy. Growing. Put this on. We already have a green, so black, I think. 2 black would be good. There's the Great Furnace. And a Lightning Bolt. And a Bushwhacker. Yeah, things went south pretty quick here. Infestation can get us 1/1/1. Or I could play a Sifters. Cram Session can't find anything for 1 mana. I think my best bet is Sifters. Hope to hit a land for a Cram Session as well. Obviously, I could, like, Tortured Existence back something, but currently there's nothing I really care to get back. We do get the Swamp. If I'm to survive, I think this is the best way to do it. Cram Session brings this back. Gain 4. I also can just loot, or rummage, I guess, which is not a terrible option. I think Abandoned Attachments is probably just better here. If they don't have a way to kill this, maybe we'll be okay. Reckless Impulse into Galvanic Blast Tomb Raider. Second artifact, Tomb Raider. So they don't have another artifact, but obviously if I block the Tomb Raider, or if I block anything, they can Galvanic Blast it. But I can't afford to take all of this, so we're just going to do that. I pick it off. There's the brown scale. So 2 black mana. I can discard this, get something back, and then I can swap it again. That's 2 life. That's good, but it's not enough to stabilize right now, so I need to do something else first. So what's that going to be? I could bring back a Sifters and play that, discarding the brown scale, and then I could hold up getting the brown scale back, so 2 more life. Play a Sifters. They didn't have a bolt for it last turn, so it's a decent blocker. It's either that or I attachments, hope for something to draw off the top, which seems risky, or I could Infestation, which could get me 1/1/1 and start the train rolling, but I feel like that's just a little slow. I think we're going for a Sifters, discarding the brown scale. We play Sifters. Oh, we can dredge this instead of draw. I forgot about that. So I dredge this to draw, then I discard it again. So I gain 2 life. So I can gain 4 life this way. Okay, yeah, so let's dredge. And then what are we discarding? The brown scale. This is kind of cool. We dredged into How to Display in a Mire. We gain 2 life. And then I can leave up Tortured Existence to both discard an Eidolon, giving this a counter and gaining 2 more life. That's pretty sick. Okay, maybe we can survive here then, if we're lucky. Synth hits a Tomb Raider. That's pretty good. So we're going to block a Tomb Raider. Tortured Existence to get back the brown scale. Because we're taking 5. We could die to a couple bolts. This is the safest for sure. And discard this to get a counter. I feel like if they had a way to kill this, they probably already would have used it, but I could be wrong. Gain 2 life. No, they did have the Galvanic Blast. Okay. A little annoying, but we did get the block off. We take 5. Down to 6. We're so close to stabilizing. And they play a Mountain. Crypt Rats would be really good. Oh my gosh. We got it. We don't have the mana, though. We can wipe the board. We can play it, block, wipe all of these. We'll take 1 off of the Crypt Rats, 2 off of this. It's not bad, and that might be what we need to do. Or, let's see, what else can I do? I could abandon attachments, I get back my Eidolon, discard the brown scale, dredge it back if I want. I just need 1 more mana, and then I can start like infestationing with something else. I could just put the brown scale in the yard, get the Shipwreck Sifters, do the same thing as before, gain 2 life from the brown scale. And then we have a good blocker. I think that's better. As soon as we can Crypt Rats for 2, I think that's the answer. But for now, I think we get the Sifters back for the brown scale. We play this, which is helping us to look for our lands. Well, I guess not if we dredge. Yeah, that's a good point. If we dredge, we don't find the land. Also, I don't have a spirit in hand to grow this right now. Maybe this wasn't the best plan. Gaining 2 life's pretty good, because we're blocking here. We're taking... that's 6. Okay. I can get this back once already, so I think maybe I draw a card here. Discard a Tortured Existence. Knife Trick. Kills a Tomb Raider, gets back our Eidolon, but I have to discard something here. I can't grow this either way. Yeah, this is just 1 mana short of being really good. I can bring back the brown scale, block, we go to 2, or I just kill one of these, I block, I go to 2, the same, get the Eidolon back, but I have to discard like Infestation, which probably isn't going to work anyway. I think we do this. I think it's looking just a little too slow. It was working for a second. I feel like we're so close, but... oh, and they just top deck a rally. So I block here, I die, so I have to chump the Tomb Raider. And then I'm at 1, so I can't even Crypt Rats. That's pretty good. I could get back the brown scale. I get back the brown scale, I go to 3. I play Crypt Rats, I block here. I wipe the board for 1. And I go to 2. I think that's the way we survive. They need to hit nothing. Plus they get to crack a synth, make another 2/2. But this also keeps us alive against like Bushwhacker and stuff. We're dead to bolts, obviously. They crack a synth, hit an Epicure. That puts us to 1. Also, they're going to be smart and use it after combat. Block here. Crypt Rats for 1. If we get like a cram session maybe, discard a mountain. There's our 5th land, finally. We're taking 5 damage. So let's see, I can brown scale, get back a Shipwreck Sifters, play that. Dredge, so I go up to 3. Okay. Discard this. So we're not dead yet. Sifters, dredge, and re-discard it. Now we have the trick as same as before. Gain 2 more life, get a counter, block one of these guys. Maybe I should have just done that so we didn't die to a bolt, but we're dead to a bolt regardless. It doesn't probably matter. Or a galvanic, because we're going down to 2. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Get back the brown scale, discard the Eidolon. Hope we don't die. I tried really hard. Feels like a tough match. We were very close to stabilizing. Bit of a bummer. You can now pick up my comprehensive guide to Esper Cryo Affinity, including 38 sideboard matchups, and I just put out a big update for my Black Sack guide, including a slightly different deck list. I began offering coaching sessions if you're interested in taking your Pauper game to the next level, and I'm accepting deck donations, so if you desperately want me to play a deck that I usually wouldn't play, something like Elves, then you can make me do that for a small fee. I've started posting a League video every single day, not to mention streaming at least a couple times a week on Twitch, but I'm not going to be able to keep that up forever unless I can get a little bit more help from the community. Any of the ways I've just mentioned are great ways to help me out, or you can even subscribe and support me on a monthly basis. Alright, round 2. This hand looks reasonable. We're against Jund or Grixis, it looks like. Or it could just be Rakdos, potentially. There's a Black Mage's Rod right away. Play Thriving Moor. Cycle the Troll for an untapped land. Or just the Architects, potentially. They hit for 2. Play another Rod. Okay, that's going to be a lot of damage. We do have cast downs if we can find them. Knife Trick does the trick as well. I think we got a Knife Trick so we just don't take a bunch of damage. So I'd probably Shipwreck Sifters first. Another Knife Trick. Sure. Let's pitch this. Take out one of these guys. I mean, I don't love discarding here. I guess we'll probably find more lands. We have a lot of card draw. I guess doing it in this order could have let them like Galvanic Blast and get extra damage on us, but they play a Wellspring. I do think it's Rakdos. I've seen some Rakdos lists recently, and Mountain definitely makes me think it. There's the Marauder that's currently useless. I think we're just gonna 3-mana Knife Trick this guy. They could have a Fanatical Offering, which they do, but yeah, I figured they'd want to use it on the Wellspring anyway. If they had multiple, obviously they might want to use it on this guy, but ping us for 1. Obviously the rods are still around, but I think dealing with those is pretty important. We have a Marauder for any real creatures they get. Oh, there's a Tomb Raider. I wasn't expecting that, but Rakdos is generally a lot more aggressive. They're going to equip up the Rod. Galvanic Blast the Sifters. I'm actually pretty happy we didn't take 4 to the face. Play a Cursed Marauder and leave up our instance. They have a Refurb. I don't really want to discard either of these, although it's funny because if we do, we gain more life off the Dahadas ploy, but I think we just ploy first in case I get like 2 lands or whatever, or just 2 creatures that I don't really care to keep around. I mean, a Troll we can almost cast, but attachments, unless they get another Refurb here, can get back the Eidolon and draw us 2, and that all feels pretty good. They map onto the Familiar with an Epicure on top. Feels like they might have a lot of lands in hand, but they bin the Epicure anyway, because they have another one. Alright. We get a cast down. That's good for the Refurb, but let's just start with the attachments, bring this guy back, and discard it. Ploy and an Eidolon. It's a little less mana efficient, but I think we just kill the Refurb while they don't have a Fanatical Offering up. We don't want to take 4 plus whatever they ping off the Rod. Reckless Fireweaver. Okay, that can definitely be a pain. Vampire's Kiss. Yeah, an extra 2 damage. We get a Troll. Might as well cycle that for a Swamp. It also gives us an extra life because I'm gonna cast this Dahadas Ploy from Graveyard, discarding this Eidolon because they both come back. And we'll discard one of these. And I guess there's no reason to play that Swamp. I should have held it because I could play the Thriving Isle. That makes more sense. Wellspring's not bad. It does just ping us for 1 and could draw him something else. We're pretty close to stabilizing, but we really need a TortEx because if we find it, I can just Curse Marauder all these creatures away, and then we're pretty stable. But until then, we're taking 3 down to 5, plus a ping every time they play a creature, or not a creature, an artifact. I could cycle this Will, Architects, now. I could save it because it can gain me more life. It is just 1 though, and the mana could be pretty relevant. Maybe if I wasn't going to save it, I should have just kept it. Oh well. It's 2 life I'm wasting now, but might as well keep going. We are looking for a Tortured Existence, so not wasting the mana is pretty good, and we do find one. So that's pretty good. I can play it. Black mana, bring back a Cursed Marauder, cast that. I can't quite kill both of these because we're 1 mana short. Well, I would say because we didn't play our tap land, but we did end up using all of our mana, so we would be 1 mana short regardless. I could still Tortured Existence, discard for the Marauder, cast it. I can't then Dahadas Ploy though, so I still think we do this first for Shipwreck Sifters, because then these are going to come back when I cast the Ploy. Although I probably want to play the Sifters first. If I draw a creature, then I can grow it. We're dead to a Galvanic either way. I can't really prevent that. I mean, I could Dahadas Ploy here to gain 1, 2, 3 if I really want. I think we just go for the Ploy first, though. Bring these back. We don't need the Tortured Existence, and these can be useful after later, so let's discard that. Play Thriving More on blue, and we'll pass. If we can survive this turn, I think we can be okay, but they do have a few extra draws with the blood tokens. They have a Black Mage's Rod, so they really only need to find, like, an artifact to kill us, or a Galvanic Blast. Refurb, that's fine. Well, it does ping us for 1, but discarding is not really a big deal. Well, that's a lot of creatures to clear, though. I'm going to actually discard this Isle, because I can turn this Eidolon into something else, which is probably the Accursed Marauder, although it takes forever to get through here, but I can Marauder a couple times and then Dahadas Ploy maybe. Okay, Cram Session can keep us alive, hopefully. What's in the sideboard? We do have the Origin of Metal Bending, which can blow up like a Refurb. That's 4 mana, and then Dahadas Ploy. Okay, start with a Cram Session. We get these guys back. Get Origin of Metal Bending. Blow this up. Marauder kills this. We're at 6, and they have these. They can kill us pretty easily. I probably just Dahadas Ploy from the graveyard, discarding this, bring it right back, discard Tortured Existence. We're at 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're still so close to death. I think we gotta pass. We gotta hope that they whiff for 1 more turn. I can blow up a Refurb so we don't take lethal. I thought we'd be fine for 1 more turn, but they did deploy 2 creatures. Yeah, they're smart enough to swap that over. So this still only saves us 2 life. So we're still dead to 2 artifacts or whatever. It was a good turn for us. We're getting to be in a good spot, but like they just deployed 2 creatures, so I wasn't able to Marauder away all their creatures, which made things difficult. Fanatical Offering triggers the Black Mage's Rods and we die. Bit of a bummer. We didn't ever see the Dimir Infiltrator, so we didn't have access to our blowing up an artifact thing. They are go wide, a lot of cheap creatures, so I think the Crypt Rats coming in makes sense. They are also a burn deck, so I think the brown scales make sense too. Marauder, it could have been good, but it was just going to be so slow. Don't think we need Macabres. I guess keeping 1 Marauder as a tutor target for the Infiltrators might still be worth it. We just cut like 3 cast downs. And I think we want to keep the Origins and Metal Bending both in the sideboard because like technically bringing 1 in gives us 5 cards to find the first one, but then only 1 card to find the last one, essentially. Whereas if I keep it this way, it's like 4 cards both ways. I don't know. Oh, we're at 61 still. Knife Trick seems fine. Maybe just cut an Architects. This one's really slow. We do have a cast down. Infiltrator. If we can Infiltrator to find our Leopard. These are kind of dead cards until we get to the later game, though. I kind of think we need something slightly better than this. Okay, Double Attachments makes me like this quite a bit more. We're probably not going to be able to use 2 of these this early, so I think we get rid of 1. They mulligan to 5. So Thriving More on blue. They have an Epicure. We got another one of these guys anyway. They swing for 1. Looks like they're looking for a second land and don't find it. Brood Scale. We have 4 cards we want to discard. I think we just go for the card advantage right now. So discard these guys rather than the life. No lands is annoying, but the Tortured Existence is good. We do have time, obviously, if they're missing lands. Another Epicure. Hit for 1. Marauder. I want attachments to draw 2, but I kind of want to get a Sifters down, start growing. It could get Galvanic Blasted or just bolted. But at least they have to do that as opposed to developing a creature. And if it doesn't die, we get to keep growing it with these guys. The brown scales don't really matter to be in the graveyard yet, because until we draw at least 1 or 2 more lands, I'm not going to be dredging, unless we get super desperate, but if we're dredging instead of hitting lands on turn, with only 2 lands on board, we're going to be in a bad spot anyway. They do hit their land drop, but this guy survives. We get a swamp. Okay, so I can Tortured Existence and just hold up a couple activations, which could grow this out of range of a bolt. Plus we can just like attachments at any time. I think this is best. Wellspring. No attacks. Cast Abandoned Attachments. These guys are both going to come back. We'll discard 1 again to draw 2. Grow this. There's a swamp. So this can just now be enormous because I can keep swapping these. Oh, but we can blow up their land because I can get Origin of Metal Bending. That seems good. Cram Session. Bring this guy back. Origin. Destroy their Great Furnace. No, because I tapped my green mana like a dork. Okay, well, we can do that next turn, but there's absolutely no reason to not just tap black there. I guess I was thinking it was a Golgari card, because it kind of technically is, but that was a mistake. Hopefully it won't be too costly. They are pretty far behind, but I could definitely see them coming back from this. And this is not the scariest thing for them to do, but like they could definitely hit a land here okay, they don't hit a land. All right, look, it didn't matter. I think I was thinking this was green mana maybe, but we don't play that many green sources, so I need to just be careful about that in the future. Let's go again. No lands, not going to cut it. All right, we have the Cram Session, which is good because it can be Metal Bending, and we just have some stuff. Troll can find our blue source, which I could just start with Haunted Mire. I might want to get the blue source down right away though, so let's just do this. I guess I could have blue source next turn with the Haunted Mire anyway. Maybe that didn't make sense. There's a Fire Weaver, get an Aquifer. And this also puts me back a turn from using the Cram Session to like blow up a land. I could just Accursed Marauder this actually. That might be worth it. It's a little awkward because we're not getting either of our tap lands down, but we can still just play a Cram Session next turn, and then the following turn I can do Metal Bending and Tortured Existence. So I think it's okay. I don't want to take a bunch of damage off of that guy. And if they're missing lands again, that's pretty nice for us. So yeah, Cram Session, Origins of Metal Bending, black-green. If they can't find a land, then we get to blow this one up. Either way, we get to blow it up, but it obviously hurts more if they don't. Refurb, discards a brown scale. I don't care to dredge that at the moment. That's a good top deck. Okay, I wasn't sure if I wanted to blow up the land if I just had this, but now that definitely makes me want to blow up the land, because if they get more lands that are susceptible, I can blow them up with the Leopard over and over. They're going to Galv Blast, and I can also just kill the Refurb later if need be. There's a Refurb. I think I just discard the Ploy, just because this trades with one of these, and I can always flashback the Ploy. We're not dredging. Knife Trick. Can't afford to discard at the moment. I guess it's basically exactly the same for me to Tortured Existence, swap this for a Marauder, and play it. It's 3 mana to kill one of these, so it doesn't really make any difference. We haven't played a land, actually, so I could swap this for a troll, cycle for a land, and then I could still knife trick one of these. Hitting our land drops is pretty important. I kind of think that might be the play. I guess I could just leopard blow up one of these, and the next turn I can knife trick blow up one of these, so maybe that's just better. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Well, let's just do this. They're just going to attack. They could hold a land here. They could be blown up, but I can't really afford to take 4 every single turn, so I'll just go for that. Another refurb. That is annoying. I brought in Crypt Rats, right? I would love that to just wipe 2 of these at once. We're not dredging. Abandoned attachments, but we don't have a single Eidolon. So I could Dahada's Ploy, I guess. Discarding this. That's so bad, but we're taking 4 down to 12 here. That's not very good either. I think we pass, though. Like, Dahada's Ploy still only keeps us... It discards a good card and still only keeps us at 1 card. But they bolt. If they just have a bunch of burn, we could definitely lose this one. We'll take it. Black Mage's Rod. Even more reason to find a Crypt Rats. I guess if it's important enough, I could go for the deploy here. Because if I draw... Abandoned attachments isn't going to matter. Because I'm not going to be able to Crypt Rats. And it's like... It doesn't have to be Crypt Rats, but it's got to be something. I think I go for the ploy now. This is just really unfortunate. I'm not going to dredge that. Discard a swamp, I suppose. Cram Session. And find another Origin of Metal Bending. Blow up a refurb. Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst thing ever. Gains us some life. I could find the abandoned attachments. That's just not what we need at the moment. This slows them down. I could blow up the Black Mage's Rod, but then they still have 5 damage coming at us. And I'm doing it now just because I'm going to do it regardless. Might as well not let them have a Fanatical Offering up. Another Black Mage's Rod. I swear, Crypt Rats just like bails us out entirely here. But every turn, obviously, it's worse because we're going to be down to like 9 even if we get it now. Not dredging that. Cast down. Everything's just so awkward because I could Dahada's Ploy, and if I hit a land, I can also cast down. But if not, we take 6. We're pretty basically dead. I think we have to ploy. I could dredge this and then discard it again to gain 2 extra life. Lower chance we hit our land, but I guess just more life is decent. It is also a guaranteed creature, so I can get back like something. Sure, we'll dredge it this time. Discard it again, we get a Sifters. I guess if we were dredging, that does give us more chances to hit a Crypt Rats, so maybe we should have been doing that, because it's slightly more. We dredge 2 instead of draw 1. If we ever hit the Crypt Rats, we can get it back. They go for an offering, and they just have a bolt. Felt like we should have been able to win that one, but honestly, I think us just not seeing a single Eidolon in the first 20 cards made it so that all our draw spells were really bad. And I kind of think that did it for us. Alright, this one doesn't work. This one looks fine. Get rid of a tap land. Play this on black. We'll pass. Land Grant. So we do have 2 Fairy Macabres in our main deck, if we can find those. They're going to play an Overgrown Battlement here, probably. Maybe a Gatecreeper Vine, but that would make less sense. So I'd probably just leave up Cast Down here. There's the battlement. We will kill it. There's an Eidolon. Thriving more on... Let's see, we only have 1 green card in our main deck, and it's an Enchantment, Artifact, Hate, Spell. I don't think they're going to have any of that. They could have like a Crashing Drawbridge. I think we're just going to go blue here. I could play this 1/3. But I think I'd rather just transmute it into something else. Play a Gatecreeper Vine for a Swamp, which they don't play, interestingly. We'll get a Swamp. Aquifer. This is probably best transmuted just into an Abandoned Attachments. I don't know why they didn't play their Swamp. That's kind of weird. But I'm not going to Dahada's Ploy here, so yeah, let's just transmute. I guess I could Marauder. It's not the best thing ever, and currently we don't have Tortured Existence. I could Sifters as a way to actually start winning the game slowly. Kind of think I need the card draw, though. So I think we're going attachments, passing. Now they play Swamp, but like they have a Gatecreeper Vine, like a second one they could have played, and then played a land here, so strange. They play an Axebane Guardian. We get a Troll. Alright, let's abandon attachments. Discarding this guy. Cram Session. Can find another abandoned attachments. Life gain's kind of irrelevant, but I think we might as well play this. Tap land. Play it. Bring this back. Or we could just do Waterbending, which draws us 3, and then discard 1 for 4 mana. Or we could pay 6 just to draw 3. Kind of think that's just worse. And the soft counterspell doesn't seem particularly helpful here. I mean, it'd be a way that they just kind of lose 2 mana turn, because they can't play into it. At least not anything super relevant, but play a Gatecreeper Vine. I mean, they could just spy here, but like our goal, if we don't die right away, is to try to keep drawing to find a Fairy Macabre. And also Tortured Existence, so we could continue using the Fairy Macabre over and over and over. But it looks like they're just gonna win. They are not scared of a Fairy Macabre main deck for some reason, even though we have them, but we couldn't find them. Crypt Rats can wipe their board. We bring in more fairies. pretty much it. Our removal's good. Cram sessions, the life gain's irrelevant, and honestly, a lot of the cards we're pulling from are not that helpful. The draw spells are kind of the only ones, so I think we just swap this for this here. Yeah, we'll try that. We have an Infiltrator, which transmutes for something. We have a Cast Down. I mean, this hand has, like, some cards, but we're really looking for Tortured Existence, Eidolons, Card Draw, Fairy Macabre. We don't have any of that. I think we just mulligan. 2 lands, 2 Fairy Macabres. Yeah, this one's okay. We'll keep one of these guys. Also, I don't think we brought in any green cards, and we took them all out, so I don't need to worry about green this time. I also mulligan to 3, so that's going to help a little bit. Blue-black. They have a Swamp, cycle a Troll. Do they even play 2 swamps? They do not. Thriving Moor, pass. Cycle a Generosent. For a forest, we will also cycle a Troll. I'll just grab a Swamp here in case we top deck like a draw 3, which we don't. A draw 3. By that I meant a 3-mana draw spell, such as Dahada's Ploy. Roost Seek. I mean, they're finding a lot of their basics. I guess that's kind of what the deck does. And they have a Mesmeric Fiend. Well, I want to get my card draw here. Want to get this into the yard. Nice. Now we have 2 removal spells to deal with this if we want to get it back. We also have 2 Fairy Macabres, so you can't take both of those. And we have an Infiltrator, which will transmute for something here. Oh, nice. So, Knife Trick. Discarding this gets these both back. That doesn't actually accomplish much. We get our Cast Down, but like, I think transmuting this for probably Abandoned Attachments. I guess I don't know. It's tough because like Shipwreck Sifters doesn't do much here, but like it could start pressuring them. I think Attachments is probably just better. Next turn I can go like Knife Trick and then Attachments. They have a Caretaker and attack for 1. Aggressive. Another one of these guys. So Knife Trick, discard a card. This. Pay here, discard this. This is going to bring them both back because it's part of the cost to discard it, so they'll be in the graveyard by the time this has officially been cast and triggers. And this just upgrades our Cast Down, or our Knife into a Cast Down, so I think it makes sense. We do want to hit land drops, if not other stuff though, so let's play Attachments here and Troll. Okay, so next turn I control and then Sifters, and like, I mean, they have 1 card in hand. We have 2 Fairy Macabres and a Cast Down. I think we're gonna be okay. They cast a Land Grant. That finds their 4th land. Thriving Isle. Alright, play Shipwreck Sifters. Pitch one of these. Nice. Crypt Rats too. Put this on black. And we'll pass. Ah yeah, Crypt Rats is another reason to have all these on black. Especially since we don't have green in our deck right now. So we can deal as much damage to the board as possible. Mesmeric Fiend. I'll cycle this Troll. But again, they can take a Cast Down or Crypt Rats, and the other one can get this guy. Probably makes sense to take the Crypt Rats though, because then I have to use a Cast Down on a 1/1. But they go for the Cast Down. Knife Trick. Well, I guess we take this out again. Discarding this to grow this guy. Get all of these back. Swing for 3. And I think the safest thing to do is just put the Crypt Rats on the field, so when we do need to activate it, we have access to as much mana as possible. They have a Spy, but they cannot target themselves for a couple different reasons. We have the fairies, and also they only have 2 creatures anyway. So they target us, which honestly, fueling our graveyard sounds great. They get an Eidolon, Sifters, and a Troll. A little bit of value. As soon as we hit a Tortured Existence, we'll be in a very good spot. I mean, I think we've won this game basically already, but they still have it going, so what can I do? Alright, they tanked for a couple minutes and they finally concede, which is great because we would have taken a couple more minutes, probably 5 or 10 to actually win that game, but I don't think we could have lost it with what was in our hand. No lands. Some lands, only black sources, finally have a Tortured Existence, pretty reasonable hand. We do have a cycling with the Architects of Will. I think I'll keep it. We have a lot of sources. I can also turn all of these other creatures into Architects of Will to at least cycle them, so like, we really have quite a few ways to get through to stuff. I think I'll get rid of the Ploy, just because we already have some card draw, and the Infiltrator could be useful finding like a Cast Down or something. They have no 1-drop, which is nice. We've got a 1-drop. Okay, well now this is just overkill. Luckily with our discard draw spells, like we can usually use the extra ones of these, but definitely don't need it. Unless they sided in like Masked Vandals or kept them in or something, which they could. We didn't actually show a Tortured Existence, I don't think, either game, but they could probably suss out that's what we were playing. There's a Battlement. Alright, there's Aquifer, blue mana. Cycle Generosent. We might need a Fairy Macabre pretty soon here. Another Battlement. Cycle this guy. Thriving Isle. There's a Fairy Macabre. Okay. If they get their black source, they can't Fiend and go for the win. So I probably just tap out. I mean, I basically can't do anything unless I want to, like, transmute this guy. Like, or I could, like, recycle the Architects. But, like, if I tap out and they just go for it, I can win with the Fairy Macabre I kind of like. So I think we're gonna transmute this into... I mean, a cast down's useful. A Cursed Marauder actually looks not bad in our hand, just because I have the Eidolon, although I can't re-trigger it. Feels like it's almost always attachments that I want to go for. If I had a couple more creatures, the Marauder could be decent, but it's super slow. I think we'll just grab this. But if we're lucky, they just, like, have Spy and die to a Macabre. Although, obviously, they know we have Macabre because they just saw them last game, so they'd have to be going for the Hail Mary. They do cycle a Troll, though, so there's black. But there's the Mesmeric Fiend. And we'll let them take it. I don't think there's any reason to like use it in response and then have them take the attachments, which is our best bet at finding removal or another Macabre. There's another one of those. I could like Tortured Existence this for the Architects and then cast this and we get this back. I think we'd rather just cast the attachments because if we get a Knife Trick, we kind of want that 1 mana. We will discard this though because it comes back. Okay, I'm going to play a Swamp because this bluff's a cast down now. There's 2 unknown cards, so they might be a little scared of a cast down. And if not, we have draw 1 off this Architects of Will and hope it's a Fairy Macabre on top. They attack for 1, play a Caretaker, and they just have the Spy. I guess not worried about a cast down. Well, we'll get back our Architects of Will with the Troll. Oh, I'm an idiot, aren't I? I should have discarded the Fairy Macabre because I could get it back with any creature from the Tortured Existence later. So having it in our graveyard would have prevented them from being able to use the Fiend on it. Oh, they have their own Fairy Macabre. Well, that, as few creatures as we have, that actually makes me feel like they might have been able to get us regardless. Okay, I definitely didn't play that game correctly. I realize now. Like I said, I'm new to Tortured Existence, but I have now realized that would have been the right play. We would have been tapped out at some point. They could have used their Macabre to get rid of our Macabre. I think we would have still lost probably, but it's obviously a good idea, good thing to keep in mind, and probably the correct play still. All right, let's try to get a win at least. I guess this hand's okay. We have 2 lands. We have a cycling on turn 1, so a new card, and then this sees a new card. So it seems decent. They mulligan to 4, so we're either against some more Spy or combo of some sort, or they just got really unlucky. Arbor Elf. Could be Elves, could be Gruul. Fairy Macabre. Either one of those. I guess green could be relevant for a Nyxborn Hydra, so I'll put this on green for our Leopard. There's a Wild Growth. Nothing to play for 4 mana or less. That's all green, so that's interesting. We'll cycle this guy. Cast down. I mean, if they had nothing for 4 mana, I probably just want to cast this down. Stop them entirely. If they had cast something, like, obviously I might want to use it on something else, but it feels like that means everything they have is either red mana, so they could play a Chrysalis here, or it's like really expensive, so that didn't work out great, but they also just top decked their Mountain. I guess maybe they didn't top deck it. This could have been their last cards. I don't know, because they played this last turn, but it's probably fine. Let's draw 2, try to hit our land drop. Not having double blue could bite us here a little bit. Yeah, now we get our black and everything. Okay, so I could Cram Session, bring this back, and I probably just want to go for attachments or Waterbending Lesson. I think we're going to go for the Lesson, actually. The Waterbending one, that is. Just because I did put this on green, so we only have 1 blue mana, so actually a higher cost, only blue, 1 single blue pip is probably better. They have a Plains in here. Okay, so they're actually Naya monsters. Rumble into another Chrysalis. That's what they choose. Swing for 2. There's a Troll. I almost want to just play like the Eidolon to chump block for a turn. Or we could just draw 3, discard a card. Next turn I can transmute this into a cast down if we want to do that. I might want to cast this Troll. I guess I could just play this to chump. And the next turn we draw a bunch. Oh, but I can't play both of these because it's double blue. So that wouldn't make sense. Yeah, I think I'm just going to draw 3, discard a card. Get rid of one of these guys. Play a Mire and pass. They have a Plains. Here comes Chris. Swing for 2. Yep, just 2. Alright, well, we're cycling Troll for a land. I guess I could go for blue, so I get more blue. If I need only 4 mana this turn, which I guess would let me play Sifters and Cram Session, maybe. Currently, their guys could be 14 power together. Yeah, I guess we'll get the Aquifer. Cast Sifters. There's Tortured Existence. Okay. Now I can transmute into a Marauder. Well, not this turn, but next turn. I can transmute into a Marauder, play that, kill one of these. Yeah, I think I played the Tortured Existence. And this can buy back the Troll if I want. Might just want to cycle the Architects. Well, they're sacking a bunch of these. So if this is a Hydra, we're just kind of in a tough spot. Oh, I guess they're just doing it to grow these. That's not the worst. So I could take 14, or I could just chump one of them. I think I just chump in case there is a Hydra later. This isn't going to be I guess I could have grown this big enough in a couple of turns to rival one of these, but not where we're at now, I guess. Just cycle the Architects of Will, another Eidolon, Swamp. So we have 7 mana. So I could transmute, play Marauder, kill one of their guys, and then I have 2 mana to like cram Session, which means we'd be at 16. We're not gonna die even to like a boarding party. And then I can get back the Marauder next turn and do it again. I think that seems like the right choice. So here's Marauder. Kill one of their guys, which does grow the other, interestingly. I could also just leave up a mana to swamp this for like a troll and then cycle that. But we could die to like a boarding party or something. So let's try to make that not happen with the cram Session. And this just finds attachments. I already have a bunch of card draw. I can get basically anything from my graveyard now. I think Eloquentia could be relevant in a turn, so we'll do that. Arbor Elf. That does make it harder to Marauder. I can still do it twice, but I can't hold up Eloquentia unless I top deck a land here. Troll, not quite a land, but obviously we'll still cycle it. So I'm gonna play black, then Marauder, black, Marauder. I don't have anything for 1 mana. I guess everything is 1 mana with the Tortured Existence, so I might as well hold that up. Get back Marauder, discard this guy. Cast it. They sack the Arbor Elf. Get back Marauder. Discard this. Cast it. Kills Chris. Alright, now we're in a pretty good spot. If they get a boarding party, they deal us a bunch of damage. But if they get anything else, and landscape's not great, then I can just keep bringing back this Marauder every turn. And with 3 Eidolons, we've finally gotten to the point where the deck is really working at peak efficiency, I think. Because I can cast this, get all these guys back, discard. In fact, I guess to gain a bunch more life, I could like cycle, I could Tortured Existence these in response to this going off to turn these into other creatures. Probably might as well do that like once for a Shipwreck Sifter, because I want to get that down, probably. But then I want to save the others for the Shipwreck Sifters to grow. So let's do this, discard a land, play a land, Sifters. Although I'm not holding up blue mana now for the Eloquentia, because we only have 2, but it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Discard one of these guys, and we'll just pass. There's an Arbor Elf and a Goliath Paladin. If they want to give me the initiative, so be it. Tortured Existence, I will grab Troll for one of these guys. Cycle the Troll for basic, although I guess I'm going to get a basic anyway. But then I'll swap Eidolons for each other just to get a counter on this guy. Play an Accursed Marauder, bring back the Accursed Marauder, discarding this, play it again, they sack their dude, I'll swing for 5, take the initiative, grab my last basic, and we'll pass. See, I wouldn't have wanted to counter that anyway, because they just gave us a way to kill them even faster. I will flashback, or jumpstart rather, this Dahada's Ploy, discarding a Tortured Existence, getting all 4 of these back in hand. Oh, looks like they might have a Thraben Charm to blow up our whole graveyard. And they have the mana for the Quenchia. Well, what are the 2 most important cards to keep around? Because I can use these Macabres to get them back. I think it's a Cursed Marauder and 1 Eidolon. Cursed Marauder, and actually the Dimir Infiltrator can find more card drawn stuff. We have 2 Eidolons left in the deck. Oh, but I can just keep cycling these ones. Grow this guy. Yeah, it's gonna be this one. In fact, let's get a blue one, because I could like cast it and mill myself if I want to fill my graveyard. Yeah. Alright, they get some good value there, but I can still not imagine that they can actually win this game. And perfect, I'll discard this guy just again, get it right back. We also get to Forge here. 8 power, I gotta grow up by 7. Seems a little tough, unless I can just spike another one of these guys, and I can just swap them a bunch. Well, we'll just hit for 9, play a Troll of Khazad-dûm, and that should probably do it. Oh, they have a Moment's Peace. No, we just got rid of our Fairy Macabres. However, are we going to win? Pretty nice of them to just show us that they're playing Moment's Peace, though, because that helps us in sideboarding when there's really no way they can win this game, I don't think. But maybe they have the perfect card. Okay, no, they just concede right after. Naya monsters, some variety. Crypt Rats, seems good. Everything else seems unnecessary. Leopard can hit their enchantments, but I don't think being able to recur that over and over is super important. If I really want to hit their enchantments, I can get it with an Origin of Metal Bending. And we don't really need the Fairy Macabres. If they play Bannerhide, it could be a little relevant. Obviously, it's a little relevant against Moment's Peace. Doesn't seem the most important thing ever. Honestly, the Infestations actually could be good here because they can chump anything that doesn't have Trample. And I would like to see them get used a little bit more, so maybe I swap one of those for like an Architects. I guess Knife Trick probably doesn't kill quite as much as we'd like. Like, it can kill Arbor Elf right away. I guess that's important enough. Then maybe we'll try this. They also could have enchantment removal for the Tortured Existences. Actually, we already know they do because of the Thraben Charm. So we might want to be a little more hesitant about discarding a second one, just in case they blow up the first. Alright, we got 2 lands, the Existence, Cram Session. Yeah, I mean, this one's got a lot of stuff going for it. It's a little slow, but this deck is pretty slow. They mulligan to 5, so they want to help us out as best they can, once again. And we did end up putting in the Crawling Sensations, so we do need green mana at some point. But let's try not to do what we did last time and only have a little bit of blue. Start with a Thriving Moor on blue-black. They have a Wild Growth and an Arbor Elf, but no second land. Clearly nothing to play for that 2 mana there. Wish I could kill the Arbor Elf. Thriving Isle. I'm just going to go on blue and black again. If we find one of our green sources, we should be able to play. We should be able to find more green. If we find one of our green cards, we should be able to find more green sources. And I'm just going to cycle this Architects of Will. I don't think there's any reason to throw out the Tortured Existence if I have some other way to use the mana. And you don't want to use it earlier in case it does get blown up. Earlier than I have to, that is. Not to mention I want to hit my land drop, so this would just help with that. Alright, they got a Repurposer. No more mana development except for the spawn, though. But that could mean an Avenging Hunter next turn, which would be problematic. Couldn't do a lot against that. Knife Trick is good. I want to hit a land drop pretty badly, but that killing the Arbor Elf is pretty enticing to keep them low on mana. Because if they do get an Avenging Hunter, I really think they're just going to win the game. But we're missing a land drop if we don't try to draw with, like, an Attachments or something. But if I Knife Trick here, even if they get a land or an Arbor Elf or something, they're still a turn behind. If it's not an Arbor Elf, it's only going to be 1 additional mana. I kind of think they could play, like, another Repurposer or Jewel Thief. I kind of think it's important enough, though, that we do kill this, that we're going to go for it. It's not always a bad play, but I've found that I often in this situation, it's very important to hit your land drops in most decks, obviously, but I almost always prioritize that over everything else, and then I will not often, but sometimes lose because I didn't interact and I instead went for lands, and then I didn't find the card I needed, and then I lose that way. So I think we'll just do it this time. They do have the Utopia Sprawl. That's only 4 mana next turn unless they also hit another land, so we still don't have to worry about the Avenging Hunter as much. I think this time we are definitely drawing with the attachments. I could go for a Sifters, but that draws 1 fewer cards. It does start growing, though. Discards this, gets a counter, then next turn I attachments, I get this back, gets another counter. Because if I just attachments now, it's not getting anything. If they do have an Avenging Hunter, or just really anything, like this Repurposer is going to be down a lot. I actually think we should get the Sifters going. Hoping to hit a land here, but if not, at least this guy starts growing a little bit. Another Utopia Sprawl. Where's the Boomerang when you need it? Thraben Charm, the Tortured Existence. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to run it out super early, but obviously I don't regret doing it where we did just because our mana is so tight. But now we need to find another one of those. We do hit a Swamp. So now I think I just pass. Then if they attack in here, I can make it big enough to eat the guy, unless they have a trick. They also find a mountain, so taps for red and white, I assume. Yeah. Goliath Paladin. Yup. We haven't actually seen Avenging Hunter in their deck, but I feel like if they're going initiative, they probably are playing both. I could be wrong about that. Dahada's Ploy brings this guy back and then discards it right again. Sifters is growing, although we did not need more Cram Sessions, I don't think. Another one of these guys. So I could attack here. Discard. I can only grow it by 2, no matter how I slice it. Could get a It'll Quench Ya to make their mana a little worse from a Cram Session. Probably worth it because, like, I'm going to cast one of these anyway. I could cast 2, but making it so they can't resolve, like, another Goliath Paladin or something could be good. Although they have a basic and a spawn, but keeping off 7 drops could be good too. I think it's probably just worth having in hand. And we don't have a lot else to do. I guess we're going to have to discard a hand size, which is actually pretty good and funny with the Eidolons, because it'll just trigger this anyway. But of course, they are going through the initiative, so we need to find removal pretty quick here. Venture, grow the Goliath Paladin, play a land. So I could block here, and I could abandon attachments so this doesn't die. We don't take 5, but then I am putting down the It'll Quench Ya, which could be pretty relevant. So I think we don't. We just do this at the end step, bring this back, discard it again. There's a Tortured Existence, and more of these guys. Play that. I think we just gotta pass. We're getting trapped regardless. I can't really afford to attack in and get chumped and stuff. Yeah, they have the Thraben Charm. What can we get back? Just an Architects of Will? I didn't need to throw this out here, but we were going to have to discard. I guess we just discarded an Eidolon, and that would have been fine. Yeah, that was kind of silly doing that. But we'll get back Architects of Will for one of these guys. Grow this once. Yeah, I should have saved that for like a much bigger turn. Would have been more relevant, where we weren't already doing a bunch of other stuff. Cycle Sheltering Landscape. They're going to pass. We got another one of these. Discard, draw 2. We're hitting a lot of the same. A lot of land drops, a lot of the same cards. There's a Dahada's Ploy. We already have one in the yard, though. Let's play this more. And I think we just pass. Discarding 2 of these guys. Growing this a couple. They draw a card. Play a forest. Have a wildling. Yup. We're going to cycle Architects of Will, and then flashback Dahada's Ploy. I guess, do I want to cycle this Troll? I kind of want to cast it this next turn, but maybe if we just get another Shipwreck Sifters going. Sorry, I should discard this first because I gain an extra life. Let's do that. Get our Swamp. Then Dahada's Ploy. Discarding the Eidolon. Getting 5 of them back. Or no, 4 of them back. We just have the Shipwreck Sifter trigger 2. There's a Crawling Sensation. Okay, that can start chump blocking. About time we got there. So this is, you may mill 2 whenever one or more creature cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere during your turn. It's only once each turn, so we're only making 1 insect, but that's fine. Play a Swamp, play Crawling Infestation, and then the Sifters. Discard this guy. So now we have a guy who can start attacking. We have 2 guys that can block. We're also at 12 life. I mean, they do get to go to the throne here. I can't do much about that. But we're getting there, and this guy grows pretty quick, because I get to discard all these every turn. They do get to put down another Goliath Paladin. Honestly, not the worst. I feel like, well, I guess a Trampler doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, that's the best card for them to pick, but like, there's another guy that I can just chump. One of my guys is already way bigger. The other one's about to be bigger. I'll be fine. There's a Rumble. Rumble hits Sagu Wildling. They cast that. They have the mana, so I can't quench it. No reason to cast it. So that's fine. I'll chump this Goliath Paladin. This guy's going to be big enough next turn to block, so he won't be able to attack in, ideally. We may mill 2. If we get a Tortured Existence, milling is good. Or more Eidolons. Yeah, we'll mill 2. We did hit one Eidolon, and another Infestation. This can also trigger to make more insects, so might as well. And Cram Session triggers all of these guys to come back, gains us 4 life, picks up. Origin could give Indestructible, that doesn't really matter. Probably just the attachments. Attack with 14 power guy. They chump. We go to end step, discard 4 of these. To grow these, we're also going to trigger our other Infestation. And actually, I guess maybe for next turn. So in your cleanup step, nobody gets priority unless your cleanup, as in your discard, puts triggers onto the stack, in which case people can get priority and do things. So I can actually let myself discard all those cards and then Dahada's Ploy and gain a bunch of life for discarding all those cards. So that might be worth it, because currently we're taking 8 flying a turn, 11 flying now. So I need to gain some more life at some point, and that probably would have been a nice time to gain a bunch. So I actually don't want a Dahada's Ploy here, because I want to just get the life gain later when I'm discarding way more. So let's do this. Especially because we're about to get trapped. There's a cast down finally. Feels like we haven't seen any removal. Yeah, let's mill. Triggers both of these. Let's make more guys. Let's mill some more. We hit a Dahada's Ploy. Let's play a Swamp. Swing in with our 2 enormous creatures. They're going to chump them both. Chump in with a Goliath Paladin. Classic. And then let's just pass the turn, discarding all 4 of these, and then we have to respond to the last. Well, it doesn't matter, we've already discarded the cards, but like, we couldn't do this unless there was a trigger on the stack. But this is really funny because we also are going to we're going to get all of these back in hand. We're going to re-trigger cleanup by having to discard more again, which is going to let us gain even more. Discard this. We also got another cast down, and so let's, with this last one on the stack, Dahada's Ploy again. No, because we have to go to cleanup already. Again, discard all of these, and that's going to trigger these again. We've discarded way more cards again, so let's Dahada's Ploy yet again. Get these all back so that we gain even more life. Boom, we gained 13 life that time. I think that's good enough. Let's go to cleanup one final time. Discard these yet again. Trigger these again. But we've gained 24 life. We also just have cast down, but like now we're super not dying. And 36-37, pretty nice. Oh, they want to trap us for 5 life? Darn. Bummer. And they have an Arbor Elf. Nice. I should have quenched that just for the rubbins. They attack with a Wildling. I'll just cast it down. We'll just go on the offensive now. And no need to mill at this point. Let's not mill out. We're still going to be able to trigger these with a million other things that we have, like the Cram Session, which will bring all these guys back. Gives us a Waterbending lesson in case we want to discard and draw more. Shipwreck Sifters. Discard one of these guys. Oh, and we hit our Cursed Marauder finally. Swing with 2 enormous creatures, which they will chump block. Play in a Cursed Marauder to make them sacrifice a guy. Go to end step, discard 3 Eidolons. Trigger for a million counters. And alright, they have the initiative. They get to draw an extra card. Look at that. There's the Avenging Hunter we were worried about. He lives. They get to go to the Throne of the Dead 3. See what their best card is. Another Avenging Hunter. Yep. They have a Jewel Thief. As long as we don't mill out or time out, we're going to be just fine here. And we have 3 minutes, 15 cards. I think we'll be just fine. Gonna cast a Dahada's Ploy from the yard. Discarding this guy to grow our team. And there's a Crypt Rats. Forgot we brought those in, but those will be pretty nice. In fact, can we wipe the board? If we deal 7 to everything, yeah, I think I can just win off of Crypt Rats here. Not kill with the Crypt Rats, but I can wipe the board and then hit with our absolutely massive creatures. So let's do that. Because their highest toughness is 7. We would deal 7 damage to everything, which does not even kill our small sifters. Then we can get in for... Oh, look, that put creatures in the yard. Nice. Make our insects. We can attack for 42 plus 32 plus 7 for a total of 81 damage. And we take down a match finally. We're on the play, and I guess we'll keep this. We have some mana, which is always good. Extra card draw with the Architects. Knife Trick for free. Not free, for 1 mana, but the Eidolon comes right back, so like no downside to it. In case they just Delver, I can just snipe it. The Undergrowth Leopard, not going to be very good here. Dahada's Ploy is a nice draw, though. So let's just kill this right away, bring it right back. We can draw one with the Architects. All right. Yeah, not feeling too terrible. Thriving Moor does give us green mana, so I can play this. Not that the activated ability is going to be relevant, but I'm not going to just cast a Tortured Existence. It's probably going to be a while until I cast that. Going to be hard to get through. Artful Dodge, not one I've seen in a while in these decks, but good to keep in mind. Cram Session. I think that's a fine one that they probably are not going to counter, and if they do, so be it. But probably just get the Abandoned Attachments. Nothing else is super great. It'll quench you. I'm never gonna like win that battle, and it just, I don't know, just doesn't seem great for me. Brainstorm, another Delver. I think we'll attachments at the end step here. If they counter it and tap out, I can get down to Tortured Existence, which honestly just by itself probably can win the game, because like they can't ever stop a single creature from coming back, especially if we can find a Cursed Marauder. But Dahada's Ploy I could get off now. Or I could just play this Leopard. Leopard doesn't really do much. Probably better in hand as just like a free other card. So yeah, Tortured Existence. I think we're just gonna get back the Architects, discarding this guy because it's a free card to get back with the Dahada's Ploy later. And we'll just cycle this. Shipwreck Sifters, okay. Flip on a Ponder. But the good news is now any creature that I want to resolve, like if I cast the Sifters and they counter it, I can just Tortured Existence the Leopard into a Sifters and play it again. And they're going to run out of counter spells. They do have Double Serpent, so I guess counter spells are not my issue here. Fairy Macabre, that would have been nice a little bit ago. If they didn't have the Serpents, I could Fairy Macabre their graveyard like 2 or 3 times. I could still do that, but now we're just dying to what's on board. So I think I need to just Sifters, discard. I mean, this Leopard does block. Probably better than nothing. Discard Architects. Oh, we only had 1 blue mana because I made this black-green. Okay, that is really annoying that that happened again. I guess we do just play the Leopard as like a chump blocker, and we might as well use this to get rid of Artful Dodge and another spell, but really would have been nice before. Yeah, I feel like we're just going to die to this. Brainstorm. Yep, I'm not going to be able to grow the Sifters fast enough. Well, okay, they just have all creatures here. I can find him a Cursed Marauder, make him stack a Delver, and then I just died everything else. Right, we only have 1 blue mana, so Dahada's Ploy, bring this back, discard it. I can grow this 3 times, so it can eat the Terror, but then we just take lethal by a mile. I guess I can just cast this, and I can block. I still take lethal, so I'd have to chump. There's no way I'm coming back from that. I guess, no, we don't have double blue. Okay. I don't think double blue would have won us the game there, but they just had, like, the right start, but that's pretty annoying. Macabre's Crawling infestations can just chump block for a while, so I think those are probably good too to bring in. Knife Trick, only really good against the Delvers, but probably nice to have something to kill them. Cram Session doesn't seem particularly useful in this one, so I think we're gonna do the swap for just the attachments again. I feel like we were very close there, and I'm not the most experienced pilot of this deck, so like it's possible that someone who knew what they were doing better could have won that one, but it kind of just felt like we were like just a one turn off. Like if we had gotten the Fairy Macabre and could have exiled their whole graveyard that previous turn, we would have just won easily, I think. I think an opening hand with like Fairy Macabre, Tortured Existence, and a few other creatures is just probably bound to win, so that's like our perfect hand probably. Not only does Fairy Macabre exile 2 cards at a time from the graveyard, which 2 or 3 times with the Tortured Existence can exile ideally their whole graveyard, but also it blocks a Delver, so like this just single-handedly can deal with their whole deck. Well, we got the Tortured Existence, Fairy Macabre, and in general, this hand's not bad. We also have some removal, so we're definitely going to do this and just get down the Tortured before they can do anything about it. They're going to have some Demon Furiers to deal with it, but that's going to be the only way they can really stop it, so Cycle Troll, we just need to get blue mana here. If we top decked a Swamp there, I probably would have just cast this down. Reveal Lorien, swing for 3. Troll is decent, and then I think we just go for the Marauder, because if they counter it, I can just play it again next turn, and that's fine. Swing for 3. They pass. They don't cycle a Lorien for a land. That's weird. I'll get back the Marauder with this Infiltrator. Thriving More. We did bring in some green cards, although we only have 1 blue. I think we'll go for green and probably regret it. So I could Marauder, but now I could just cast down in their upkeep, and then, or if they tap out here, obviously, Brainstorm. And then if they want to counterspell this, then I can Marauder it later. They have the Dispel. Attack for 3. Knife Trick. Alright, we'll Marauder, and if they counter this, then I'll Knife Trick it. Discarding Dahada's Ploy, because I feel like I need to Fairy Macabre away their stuff so they don't make a terror here. There's a Brainstorm. Play an island and pass. We get another Fairy Macabre. Okay, well currently, if they just play like a terror for 4 mana, I can just, Curse Marauder it. So they Thought Scour, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Play 2, I think that's fine for now. Mental Note, there's a 1 mana terror, and a Delver of Secrets. So I'm gonna Dahada's Ploy, discarding this Fairy Macabre. Find another Tortured Existence. I guess I like that less. Another Dahada's Ploy. Well, I just kind of wanted to draw some more cards, but I realize now that not drawing a creature means the Fairy Macabre could have turned into a Curse Marauder, which at least would kill the Delver, and now I don't have that as a guarantee, but we'll go for a Ploy here. They have the Dispel. Thriving More on blue, and a Cryptic Serpent. Well, it looks like we're going to lose after all to this. We get a cast down, we can kill this and technically not die. Unless they flip the Delver. If they have the counterspell, it doesn't matter either way. They do flip it, we take 9, and we're dead. Definitely thought that one should have gone a little better. I mean, I don't think it would have made that big of a difference, but I could have kept the Macabre, swapped it for the Accursed Marauder, it would have killed the Delver, I would have taken 5 down to 8, but then they would have had the Dispel for the cast down. I don't know. The Macabre, I thought the trick was going to work really well, but like, not only was I going for the Marauder, but also they ended up getting way too many spells, so it feels like maybe we still need a way to blow up their whole graveyard. I'm trying to think if there's a good creature that can do it. A bit unfortunate. Well, 1/4 is not really what you want with the deck. I'm sure a good amount of that was definitely user error. I definitely made some mistakes that I should have probably not, but I think with experience, I would be able to play the deck a little bit better. That said, we also went up against some aggressive decks, Rakdos Artifacts, and just Red Rally, that I think that those are the types of decks that is the very reason why Tortured Existence decks don't really exist anymore, is the format's gotten very, very fast, and this deck is just incredibly slow. We did get to see it really go off against Naya monsters, which I think was really cool, and so we did see some of what the deck can do, but I think there needs to be some better way to be able to deal with like the Cram Sessions are cool because the life gain helps a little bit, but against consistent creatures, we probably need some like main deck board wipes, Suffocating Fumes or 2, maybe Crypt Rats. I honestly think at least 1 Crypt Rats in the main deck could be decent enough. Infiltrator was cool tech. I liked being able to pull out the Marauder or the Leopard, but it's so slow. 3 mana to more or less do nothing was very hard to fit into my curve. We either spent like a turn 3 or 4 doing nothing at all, or it wasn't until like turn 5 or 6 that we could guarantee like a Marauder or a Leopard. So I like the idea, but it feels like there's got to be something better to tutor, or maybe just more card draw. But to be honest, not really sure what else could be used to grab Marauder, Leopard, Sifters, or like a cast down or attachments. It might be the only choice, it felt pretty rough sometimes. The Macabres in the main deck, we didn't really draw them in the matches where we wanted in the main deck against Spy and Terror, but they were decent for sure, and I don't think it's bad having them at all. Knife Trick I was really impressed with, actually. It kind of sucks if you have to discard a relevant card or actually pay 3 mana for this card, but a lot of times we have an Eidolon, an Infiltrator, an Architect's Will, a Leopard we don't need, something that is an extra Tortured Existence, something that's pretty easy to discard, and then the trick gets really good. It almost made me want to play, like, Cast Down's very good, and this is definitely a control deck, but it almost made me want to play like 3 or 4 Knife Tricks and only a couple Cast Downs. I don't know if that would be best, obviously sorcery speed and can't kill anything, but the 1 mana felt very relevant as a way to not die in the early game, and the discard can actually be beneficial if it's like triggering our Sifters or something like that. Tahada's Ploy is of course great. Ban Attachment's a really good card. I kind of liked the Cram Session. It was really nice because it can trigger all of your Eidolons, bring them back, and then you can get an attachments from the sideboard, which could also trigger them to bring them back. A lot of value there. Origins of Metal Bending, definitely nice in the right matchup. We got a little unlucky against Rakdos Affinity, but the Metal Bending was definitely good. Water Bending Lesson, I'm sure there's matches where you want it, but it almost always felt worse than the attachments. And the Aquentia, I'm sure, can also be good in the right matchup, but we didn't really see that. Certainly, I think Water Bending Lesson could probably be a free slot you could turn into something else. I think like 80% of the time Cram Session is just going for the attachments already, so I think having just 4 lessons here, or 3 different ones, I guess, is probably fine. I did like the Infestation, only really came up in that Monsters match, but I liked that pretty well. The Brown Scale was cool, didn't quite keep us alive, but being able to get it back with the Sifters and then re-discard it right away so I could get it back from the graveyard again for extra life for really cheap was pretty sweet. Definitely a nice one, I think, in the sideboard. I like the Crypt Rats. I do think maybe 1 Crypt Rats in the main deck would really help. Just having an out to Red Rally in game 1 could be nice. Or I don't know if there's some other 3 mana creature that like gives -1/-1 to the whole board or something like that that would be able to be played. Obviously you want it to be a creature. The mana was a little awkward, but to be honest, that was I think mostly my fault that I was choosing green for these cards a lot more often than I probably should have been. In matches where the Leopard was relevant, I didn't want to not have access to green, but then blue was obviously... Our deck is a lot of black, but being able to play 2 attachments, Tahada's Ploys, and our Sifters in 1 turn was pretty key, and I wasn't able to do that a lot. So I think that was just my bad. Overall, I think the deck is really cool. I can't necessarily speak to how viable it is in the current competitive meta. It's really slow, and again, there's a reason we have not seen Tortured Existence decks play competitively for a while, but I think it's a very fun deck in general and has a lot of power to it, so there's certainly nothing wrong with bringing it to a local event or playing it more casually if you're not trying to grind and get trophies every game. Despite my kind of poor record, Sty, I hope you enjoyed the video and the feedback that I provided. Thank you very much to my monthly supporters. If you want to support me on a monthly basis, go ahead and check my Medify link down below. That's the best way to make sure I continue putting out daily videos. Thank you to my current $10 and up supporters, including Howard Granger, Rafa Rodriguez, JD MPX, Adam Cadmon, Apple Beta Pi, Halkaz, Cody Cowell, Sty, and Emmanuel Mayer. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.